Hey, what is up guys? So I got something very interesting to share with you guys, and I think a lot of you budget players will be excited to hear about this deck because once we get the red Resonator, you guys can try it out. It is a SYNCHRO Fire Fist deck, and it's pretty cool how this guy built the deck. And it's awesome to see a deck get first place in the OCG. This was taking place at the Nagasaki tournament, and interesting to see, like I said, something that is not Perform Power Perform Mages, because that deck is absolutely destroying it there, and it's cool to see unique decks, and I love seeing this. But anyways, let's go and jump right into it, and then I'll kind of explain the basic concept of the deck. I'll probably get some gameplay in for you guys a little bit later down the week, but anyways, let's get started with the deck profile. So we've got 2 copies of Dragon, 2 Juragettos, 3 Coach Soldier Wolfbark, 1 Bear, 2 Deer, 1 Boar, 2 copies of Rooster, or Chicken as it is called in the TCG. Then we got 3 copies of Red Resonator. This actually makes the deck, so we don't have this card yet. And it comes out in High Speed Riders. Then we have 3 copies of Maxi, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Remember guys, this is the OCG. We'll get into like what you can swap in and out later. And then we have 3 copies of Onslaught, 3 copies of Resonator Call, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Forbidden Chalice, 3 Tensu, 3 Tenki, 1 Bottomless, 1 Treacherous, 1, well, there's Treacherous, or, I'm sorry, Traptrix Trapple Nightmare, then 1 copy of Treacherous Trapple. This guy's cheeky for playing this card, though, when he's actually playing other traps. Then we got Tensid, we got Solemn Judgment, and then, of course, Solemn Warning. Now, as far as the extract, he's got 1 Norden, 1 Trish, 1 Kieran, 2 copies of Horse Prince, 1 Vulcan, 1 Dark Rebellion, Exceed Dragon, we got Ragnazero, Shockmaster, Sky Blaster, Castell, Diamond Direwolf, Excidon Knight, Cardinal, Falzia, and Lion Emperor. Now you can get away without playing some of these cards. I know we don't have Shockmaster, and I know we don't have this card yet, but we technically don't have this. So this build is basically only oriented around OCG, but again guys, you can pick up the cards now. I'm sure this card will be common. And before I jinxed it, now it's a secret rare in the new set. It's probably going to be a common. It probably will be like 25 cents or something like that. But this is all you really need. Every other card basically has gotten reprinted or isn't very expensive now. So that's really good. Now, I understand we don't have Harpy's Feather Duster. I try to think of cards that were close enough to it. Malevolent Catastrophe doesn't really work. Straight Flush isn't really like that great either. The best thing I can come up with, guys, is Galaxy Cyclone. If you have any other suggestions for the Harpy's Feather Duster, because I think we can swap in Solemn Judgment for Psalmist Scolding. Real easy. That's a real easy swap, because this is banned in the TCG. But there's not really a Heavy Storm. There's no get rid of everything. You could, if you wanted, I guess, to play Decree. This deck is very, very aggressive. What it likes to do first turn is being able to throw up like a Horse Prince, maybe an Exceed or 2, because, you know, obviously you have Tensu, you have access to Wolfbark, so that's really good to be able to get in like double summons, and you can play really aggressive in this deck. Now, one thing I want to mention is if you can make Cardinal, and Cardinal survives, whether it's through saving him with Tensu, saving him with Traps, or Juragetto, usually if you're able to keep him alive, like, even if, you know, they attack you Juragetto, and then you tribute Juragetto, and you make his attack too high so they don't attack. He just goes to your turn, you're just like, oh, I'm just going to activate its effect and shuffle him back. Because, like, more likely you'll have other cards, of course, to search out. Because when this card is, when a Fire Fist monster is special summon from your extract, you get a Fire Formation. This card, when it's used as synchro material, you get to set one. So there's a lot of free advantage you'll get relatively quick in the deck. So it's not very uncommon to get Cardinal's effect. And when Cardinal gets his effect twice, you basically win the game. Especially since in this deck you're going to have Horse Prince. So if you guys don't understand how the deck basically plays, I'll give you guys a brief overview. So you want to get a Horse Prince. That's pretty standard for Fire Fist. If you guys didn't play, well, before the deck was even really legal to play, like, people were trying out the deck and it was really nasty to be like, oh, make Horse Prince, make Horse Prince. It's so strong to bust out this card, and then after it's Synchro Summon, you can special summon 1 level 3 monster from your deck. You usually go ahead and bring out Chicken. There was also a Leopard play. There's a lot of different variations of this deck, but the main concept is to summon Red Resonator, and he has the effect that when it is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. When this card is special summoned, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, and you gain life point equal to its attack. It's pretty much irrelevant because you're not going to be special summoning this card too often. You're going to be just adding it to your hand. And then when you summon him, you're going to summon another card. And of course, this card requires a Fire Tuner. So that's going to suffice for that. Now, you have your option for dragon, and as well as you have your option for deer, because remember, it's sent to the graveyard for the Synchro Summon a Fire Fist monster. You get to set one, so you get free advantage off of that. Then when you go ahead and go for Horse Prince can then bring out chicken. Then once this card is special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist monster, you're going to add a Fire Fist monster from your deck to your hand. So then you can go ahead and add something else, and then of course you can go ahead and add Tensu. He also has this effect where once per turn, you get to send one face-up fire formation spell and trap you control to the graveyard to set another one. So usually, you go tanky into something, whatever combo piece you need for your setup, and then you're going to go ahead and set a Tensu. Tensu will then activate its effect to be able to give you that additional normal summon. That's pretty good stuff. And then usually you want to go for Wolfbark. Remember guys, keep in mind if you're playing on Dueling Network, because maybe this deck will get popular. I know sometimes when I make a deck profile of something, everyone's like, whoa, we gotta play this deck. Keep in mind, if your opponent is playing this, or if you are a good Samaritan, you're not gonna summon double Horse Prince, because I see that all the time. Because this card has a downside technically. So the card's effect is when this card is Synchro Summon, you get to special summon Rooster basically. That's the main play that you're gonna go for in this deck. And then after you Synchro Summon this card, you can't special summon level 5 or higher monsters for the rest of the turn. So that means you cannot get out Horse Prince into Horse Prince. Otherwise, you can go Horse Prince, Horse Prince, Horse Prince, and then you're looking at like a really spammy deck, which technically doesn't really matter because what you're going to do in this deck is you're going to activate Tensu, you're going to get an additional normal summon, and then more than likely it's going to be Wolfbark because it lets you summon another Beast Warrior type monster, and obviously that's like your best choice in the deck. You also have options for Dragon and stuff, because Dragon is still a pretty good card, but more than likely you're going to go for Wolfbark. Wolfbark will then get you whatever you feel like is necessary in this situation. More than likely well, it doesn't really matter what level 4 you get, but I mean, as far as extra goes, you can go for Castell. Sometimes you can go for this card. I love this card so much, because like I said, if this card survives, you're pretty much good to go. So the basic concept of the deck is summon this, summon another monster, go for Horse Prince. Horse Prince bring out chicken. So let's go and go over like a real brief example. So some of you guys that are interested in playing the deck, you'll be able to understand how to like go for your combo. So you summon this, it gets another summon. I'm gonna move these cards out of the way. So you summon this, it lets you bring back, it lets you normal summon another level 4 or lower monster from your hand. So that can be pretty much whatever. Let's say you happen to have Bear. Like let's go for like a decent combo. Because let's say you go for Tanky, you go Bear, you can go ahead, Tanky, Bear, Pop. You've already gotten rid of a monster. Okay, very great stuff over here. Then what you can do is you can go ahead and synchro up to Horse Prince. So Horse Prince, so you've gotten rid of one monster already, and you're gonna go ahead and synchro. So let's put these over here, and you're gonna synchro into Horse Prince. Horse Prince will then activate its effect that when it is Synchro Summon, you get to special summon one level 3 fire monster. So you're going to go ahead and summon your Rooster. Rooster can then activate its effect that you get to add one Fire Fist monster from your deck to your hand. Now that can be whatever. Technically you can go even further plus. Like if you didn't have that Bear, maybe you didn't want to, there's nothing to pop, you can go for Deer, you can go for Boar, whatever you go for. So you go for this card's effect, then you get to add a Fire Fist monster. I don't know what the scenario is going to call for. Again, use your own judgment, hopefully. And then once per turn, you can send one face-up fire formation. So maybe you have a Tanky that is, that is still up, because like I said, maybe you didn't go for the Bear play. Maybe you have a Tensu. So you can go for that play. And then from there, you will be able to get that additional summon. Now, that card that is in the graveyard that is level 4, whether it's Bear, whether it is Deer. Deer, if it was Deer, you can set another one. Very great stuff. More than likely, you want to go for a Wolfbark play after this, so you're going to go ahead and go for Wolfbark. Wolfbark will then bring you back another card, and then you guys can decide what you want to go for. Again, if they happen to have multiple monsters, and we're talking about if you go for Bear, you're getting rid of one monster with Bear. You also get to bounce back up to 2 other cards your opponent controls that are face up, so that's really good. And then you get to reset your stuff. Very, very nice stuff over here. And then from there, that's a lot of decent amount of damage. And then if you have one trap to follow up, or if you can Juraghetto survive, or you can have Tensin survive, the deck has a decent amount of back row, and Maxi is an answer. So like, there's basically a huge push, and then essentially you have a huge consistency in the deck. And then from there, the next turn, more than likely, you'll probably just win the game if your opponent doesn't clear board or something like that. And like I said, the deck is super, super consistent, and it has a lot of options just to go for other plays. Now, this is a simple play. You can go for Vulcan. You can bounce back your other stuff. Maybe you don't have to go for Horse Prince. Vulcan is still a great card. If you guys didn't see this card, I'm pretty sure I got a reprint. But originally when this card came out, it was a Shonen Jump card. It was one of the cards you had to get from the magazine. But anyways, when this card is Synchro Summon, of course, it's generic too. It's one of the better generic ones. So when this card is Synchro Summon, you can target one face-up card your opponent you control and one face-up card your opponent controls. You bounce them back to the hand. You can't activate cards or effects with the same name as the return cards, but nonetheless, you're able to re-add back the Tenki or Tensu. Usually you don't really care too much for like resetting Tensu, but like resetting Tenki is definitely a great thing to do because that's a free advantage for you. But yeah, that's the basic concepts of the deck. I hope you guys have some fun with it. Like I said, I'll get some gameplay for you guys. Remember guys, this is the OCG, so you guys can't play this in real life until we have this card. But I don't think anyone's going to complain if you're like, oh my gosh, he's proxying in real life a red Resonator. Wow, what a broken card. It's just a little simple card that lets you basically make horse prints, because this card technically does require a finer tuner, and this card it's just so perfect for the deck. It's so random. At first I was like, well, this is some crazy Synchro Red Dragon Archfiend deck, but nonetheless, pretty sweet deck. But let me know, guys, what you think of it. Do you guys see it like being relevant at all in the game? Because some of these Japanese tournaments, they are smaller, keep that in mind, but they still play meta. It's just, you know, there's not one of these tournaments where like, you know, have 300 plus people. It's relatively small. Usually these Japanese tournaments are get like 50 players because there's a lot of card shops that have, you know, tournaments, but they're relatively small compared to what we have as YCSs here in the States. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. It's been your boy Will Smith signing out.